I don't know anyone like the man. I really don't. His basement is giant TV screens. Well, he uses them as computer screens. He doesn't watch TV. And he's got one computer hooked up on all these screens, and he's got a keyboard, and he stands there, and his head, I don't know how his neck functions. Because it's like that as he's working. He's crazy. But that's okay. We need those kind of people. Scott can't get up here and do this, and he doesn't want him. And I love him. I'd like him to. He's smart as can be. But what he did, his whole career, his whole life, is work for big companies and work all night and take care of all their websites. And he could do it lickety split. So he's a good website builder. He built a good website. State Nationals rocks. Gwen's mom and dad. Great website. Good training. Those are websites, those are tools for you guys. Okay? AOR Health with Katie. God, I love Katie. She's got the most beautiful little kids. I just love them. They're like my grandkids. I can hold them on my lap and play with them, and I can send them home. They're wonderful. Katie's like a daughter to me, too. Marcella's smart as a whip. And love her, too. All these people, Tony, everybody, they all work so hard. The Daniels, everybody in this movement works really hard to try and provide you guys with things. Bobby, he's like one of our founding fathers. I mean, he's got that great big booming voice, a handshake that'll crush your bones. I mean, he's so strong. You know, one day he was replacing an engine in a car, and the engine lift wasn't working. Bobby's the kind of guy that reaches over, grabs a V8, picks it up, puts it on the table. It's crazy the strength that man has. He's got temper too, and he's learning how to fix that. But instead, he's passionate. He uses his temper for passion. It's not going to hurt you, ever. He might make you feel about this small sometimes, because he will correct you. It's tough love, baby. Tough love. I'll do the same thing. I won't let you get away with stuff, but I love you. All right? But here, Bobby, his telegram channel, you all know that you can click on the top portion, right? And it drops down videos and files. Tia, his wife, she spent 2 days at our office from morning until midnight going through my iPad, stealing documents. I love her. And the admins and Bobby and Tia have been putting information out for you guys and helping you. Tia's reviewed tens of thousands of state nationals paperwork or done it for herself. I used to get on her for charging nothing. This woman was up half the night and up early, day after day after day after day for a year. Every day. Helping people for free. And I said, Tia, 2 things are going to happen. You're going to burn yourself out and just throw up your hands and say, I'm done. Or you're going to die. You cannot do it that way. A man is worthy of his hire, charge a little bit. And here's the reason we charge. I used to put out $800,000 of my own money doing seminars in the early years. Flying around the country on my dime, my rental cars, my hotels, my airlines. I paid for sometimes meeting halls. I would buy several $1,000s worth of food. And I'd do all of it for free and invite you all in for free. And you know what? We weren't growing as a nation. We weren't growing as state nationals. People weren't following through. They weren't doing their homework. They weren't doing their thing. They didn't take their education seriously at all. We started charging to cover all the costs, all the health, and now the movement's growing like crazy because you have a vested interest in your own education. And that's important. And I know some of you, it's a struggle. I know that. I know some of you have to go without meals. Every seminar, or as many as we can, we try and get online. And you can find them all over the place for free. So you don't have to come to a seminar. But I'll tell you what's important about it. It's this. It's this love. I love you. And I know you love me too. And that camaraderie, that seeing each other is important to seeing me. You guys get to see your neighbors. You get to do those kind of things at these seminars. And then you get to grow. Our Houston seminar, we did it 1 month ago. 30 people out of the room that were locals to Houston are meeting every week. No. That's a whole new group of state nationals down there meeting every week. They're on fire. They're calling me, they're calling Leland, they're calling Bonnie. They're asking questions. They're absolutely on fire, and they've gotten together. We've got over 100 American State National Telegram channels alone. We have one for almost every state. There isn't one for your state created, but I think there's one for all of them now. I haven't gone through and personally checked, but there's a bunch of them. And those are designed for you to talk to other people in your state so that you can form your own groups, so that you can meet once a month or once a week. Those are up to you. And then your powers get multiplied. Well, I'm over here doing something else. And you grow, and your powers get multiplied. And one of the first things we all need to do after we become state nationals is create a republic. Because I'll be honest with you, this whole republic thing with Oklahoma, I don't know if they can get out of their bad habits and truly become de jure because they've been de facto for so long. They don't even know what they're doing once it becomes a republic. I hope it does. Because if nothing else, it'll lead these other state people to wake up a little bit. But the true republic is the ones that know that they're a people and not a person. That know they're truly sovereign and not a citizen. That know their own private property and they actually own it. They actually hold superior titles on their homes and on their cars and on their children and on their life. You have a title on your life and nobody bothers to claim it. Get your birth certificate double authenticated and put in the claim and record it and take ownership of the vessel. Notify the IRS with their Form 56 who the heck the fiduciary is. And if you're not a government employee, do your revocation of election. And then tell them, I almost raised the middle finger. Yeah. They send you a letter in the mail, rescission it, send it back. Hey, you don't own this all caps name, this is my boat. You don't have any control over it anymore. They only have control over what they created and what they own. But we never gave them the power to create, so it's up to you to claim it back. That's all this is. That's why it's important to get your paperwork done. Claim it back. Claim everything. You have a court case out there, claim the securities. They created securities in your name. And they got you to sign your signature somewhere. And your signature created the access and created the ability because you are the only signatory officer of your trust. And so they got to get your signature, and they get it from either you or whoever you gave your power of attorney away to. So stop giving your power of attorney away to anyone. Unless you're 96 years old and on your deathbed and you just have to. They give it to someone you well trust that's an heir. Other than that, never give it away to anyone your entire life, because the minute you do, you're incompetent. You're infirm. You're a minor. You're unable to speak for yourself. You're not a competent, living, adult, male or female. The only way you can be a competent, living, adult, male or female is to be a state national, to own yourself, own your kids, own your car, own your home, stand firmly upon your rights, develop standing, contract with who you please, and have a trust that owns everything you own, so that you own nothing. We're to be naked our whole life. We hold it in titles as a man and controlled by the trust. And the trust is the blanket that protects you. Understand that. Trusts are everything. This world is held in trust. This nation is held in trust. You need to be held in trust. Your family needs to be held in trust. That's what God wants. That's what He gave to you. In fact, He commanded you to take dominion over the land, the air, and the water, all law, and subdue it. Please understand that. So the federal government, 10 square miles, we all live here, and we reside here and here temporarily to do business. That's the way they treat us. You live here. How do I know that? Well, what's your address? See, they divided this country into 12 pieces, right? They just divided it into pieces, and they're all called federal districts. And they made Canada the 13th district and Mexico the 14th district of the District of Columbia. Not of the United States of America, of the District of Columbia. Understand that difference. Understand it very well. See, when I used to live up here in Oregon, my zip code was 97702. That put me in the 9th district of the District of Columbia by the sheer use of my zip code. By the sheer use of an address that was nothing more than SMU. If you go on the Telegram channels, there's a picture that you can download, and it shows you step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4 on how to go on the USPS website and find the rural route address of your house. And it will not be what you think it is. Yeah, Bobby Lawrence, 1776, reignited. The one with 45,000, not the ones that are made up. Understand something. Bobby and those guys are constantly deleting Telegram channels, pretending to be Bobby. And we are constantly deleting Telegram channels, pretending to be me. A lot of fake crap out there. I hate it. I hate all this fake accounts. I hate satire news. I just hate it. Okay? What's that? It's just a picture they put on there where you snap screenshots of Each page of the USPS has a link to it, walked you through, and then they put it into one picture, those screenshots into one picture, so it's step 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they put a big 1, 2, 3, and 4 on it, so that you can follow along. It's not very hard to do, and you can look it up. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. They divided this whole thing up into federal districts. And prior to the Reconstruction era, we had 31 republics. 31 republics. Even the original states were a republic. Even if later they became a commonwealth. They were a